Thanks, Steve, for that lovely introduction. Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. I think it's been quite a boring afternoon and evening listening to each one of these speakers repeating more or less the same thing. And I decided I wouldn't show my presentation because I can find some people yawning at the back, some sleeping. And I thought that let me just actually tell you why I started IB school in Mumbai. This actually goes back to my own daughter who was completing her graduation and asking me to send her to London School of Economics for further studies. And that's where I said to her that I don't think I can afford to send you to LSE because it's too expensive. It was the top ranking university in the world. And I thought to myself that at that particular time, I actually refused to support her or help her. And then she went to the local university. She went to Mumbai University and she completed her graduation. And she had a friend, her best friend, Harsha, who was doing her IB in the international school, TISB in Bangalore. And then she got a complete scholarship in University of London LSE program. And they both actually, day one, day out, they would communicate with each other. And both applied for a job. Believe me, my daughter who completed her BMS and MBA distinction, the starting salary for her was just 25,000. And this child who actually completed her LSE program from University of London, her starting salary was 68,500. And she came up to me and she said, "Mom, you saw what you did to me." And sitting on the chair in my school, as a head of a school, I felt, if this happens to my daughter, what would happen to the children in the years to come? I went up to my boss that time, Dr. Podar, and I asked him whether we can start an international school. I was an ordinary school principal coming from a very ordinary background, very ambitious, lots of aspirations. And he looked at me and he said, "This building, do you think you can ever start an international school?" And I said, "I am researching on international education for the last 10 years, and I think that it would be possible for me to start." And believe me, 10 years back, we started the International Baccalaureate Primary Years program, and then we went on to the IB Diploma program. We started the IGCSE A-levels. And it was my dream to get London School of Economics in Bombay, in India. I went up to University of London and signed. I had to make too many roads to cross, but I signed an MOU and I run, and I'm the principal of London School of Economics in Mumbai, and I run most of their courses. This is the dream I want for these children in India, not because I know that, I don't say that we all, when you think back, why did ICSE come into existence when the local school curriculum was running very well? We had state school curriculum years ago. Why did ICSE come into being? Have you ever thought, why did CBSE come into existence? We were all doing local state curriculum. You would see the changes. I don't know why people ask that why there are so many international schools. Come on. There is globalization. The country is moving. Everything is moving. Why not education? And I must say, my journey was very hard because when I started IB education, Priyamvada was not there. I hope she was there. Today, because of Priyamvada being there, there's a lot of support that IB and Cambridge representatives are present in India. There was nobody who allowed me to get into an IB school. When I approached some IB schools, they said, "Sorry, you don't have a red passport." And I just look back. And when I look back, I say that I know lots and lots of challenges at that time to start an international school, to run an international curriculum. Lots and lots of challenges, I would say 10 or 12 years ago. But today, thanks to IB, you have Priyamvada. If you want to start an IB school, contact her, fill up the forms, and you know there are many, many IB schools supportive to start the same. We have SAIBSA, another platform where all IB schools come together to share. So I think that, yes, there are a lot of opportunities. And why is it that international education is becoming popular? Please note, the economy is going up. The per capita income is going up. Because people can afford, and let's be honest and frank, it is not something which is coming cheap. Not at all. I wouldn't ever agree. The kind of affiliation cost, the kind of resources cost, kind of teacher cost, kind of training cost, you can't run the IB curriculum until all your staff is trained by the IB board. So let's face that there is an opportunity, but there are challenges. There are big challenges. One is the cost factor. It's not for all. I think it's a long way. If we have many, many, many more international schools, maybe the prices may come down. It's the demand and the supply. But believe me, I think another challenge that I see is that there are not many international universities. There are many students, many Indian parents' aspirations for their children to become doctors and engineers, and you don't see international universities in India. So you have the international curriculum till grade 12, and what do you do after that if you want to continue with the international certification? And why has international education come here? Because there has been a lot of NRI crowd back into the country, a lot of non-resident Indians who have come back to the country because of the, we all know that the world economy went down at a particular time. So they were looking at Indian ethos, Indian culture, Indian values, and at the same time, international certification. So I think that the evolution and the starting of international education is basically the people that have got this international education into the country. Thank you.